Hi, everyone. This is Diana Palm, and today we're going to discover 5 everyday afterlife signs that your loved one never leaves you and that proves love never dies. Welcome to my live stream. If you're here, please give me a hello in the chat room. I want this to be an interactive community where you guys can get your questions answered and also where you can get validation for some of the experiences that you're having in regard to the afterlife. So I'm going to go ahead and just start right off. But if you're joining me live, do drop into the chat room, give me a hello, or just say, afterlife, or whatever it is you want to do so that I do know that you're here. Okay, so I love this topic because so many times people think that afterlife signs have to be like a full body apparition. Those are very rare. Of course, they do happen, but a full body apparition isn't something that most of you will have. So we kind of want to bring it down to the layman's level, the commonality of most humans on earth, and what those everyday afterlife signs are most likely going to be for you. I'm going to give you 5, but I'm also going to throw in a 6th that I know you're going to love and that many of you will definitely relate to. Okay, so hi there. Hi, Dark Crystal Tarot. Hi, Eyes of Green. Welcome. So good to see you guys. Hi, Shelly. Thanks for joining. Okay, so we're going to start off with the first one, which would be smells. Have any of you ever smelled the scent of your loved one after they died? This could be anything. Most commonly, it would be their cologne or perfume that they wear, cigarette smoke or cigar smoke. I've had people come through with a very strong smell of like cars and oil if they were a mechanic or a racer. Even food. My grandma has sent smells of fried chicken through. That was one of her favorite dishes. So they will send you things that you will recognize them by. It won't just be a random smell. You'll smell it and your mind will immediately go there. Now, I love smells because we actually put a lot of our own memories around a certain scent. So smelling it again can trigger that very memory. And our loved ones on the other side, they know this. So let me know in the comments if you guys have smelled one of your loved ones. I just want to see who else. Oh, hi, Lydia. Thank you for coming. Okay. Can a spirit or entity jump into your body without permission? Thank you. Oh, and love you. Thank you. I love you too, Dark Crystal Tarot. Well, that's not on today's topic, but I'm going to answer it for you, and I appreciate your question very much. I actually have had this experience happen, and that's why it's very good to know your spiritual protection and how to clear any kind of entity or ghost. Normally, they will not. Normally, they will respect the boundaries that you have, but many times people don't know to put boundaries up. So I can tell you that I've had that happen. It was many years ago. I had just moved to Florida. It was a very unfamiliar area. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I had my daughter sleeping with me in bed because it was a new home and I wasn't sure how safe it was yet. So she was in bed next to me, and I woke up because I felt a presence in my room. And as soon as I spotted him across the room, he jumped into my body and my heart started pounding so hard. And I immediately thought, this is probably why a lot of people die of heart attacks in the middle of the night, but I knew it was an actual spirit. So my daughter had felt it also. She woke up and she's like, Mama, are you okay? And I told her, go back to sleep. Mama has it, and I went up and got my connection. And I do what I do, and I cleared it. I got it out of my body, sent it back to the creator, made sure that every space in my home was absolutely clear, and then did extra protection over my daughter as she was sleeping beside me. So, we can go by, there are certain rules they're supposed to follow, but there are always those outliers who will challenge you and perhaps test you to see how good your skills are when you learn something new, or to see if you're able to really get rid of them. And if you are, you'll usually unlock more spiritual gifts. So I don't want to say that to make anybody scared. There are ghosts that roam around. Those are not your loved ones. Those are other, kind of more predatory entities or ghosts trying to inhabit bodies. And it is really good for every individual to know how to cleanse those. So be sure you check out my next spiritual warrior training, which is live. I do teach people how to do all their spiritual protection and how to clear entities and ghosts to make sure that you and your family are safe. So I just booked one. I think it's for August 3rd, but you'll have to check me on that. I do have the link below this video. So thank you for your question. But when it comes to your loved ones, you guys, you won't have to worry. I mean, if you're smelling like rotten eggs and bad scents, then yeah, that's going to be like a roaming spirit or an entity. But if it's something that you remember, if it's a perfume, if it's fried chicken, if it's mechanic oil, that's going to be your loved one. If your mind instantly connects you to that, then you can count on it that that's a loved one sending you that scent. Hi, Dale. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here too. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I have to go back. I might have missed some of you. Okay. I just got word today that my loved one died. Oh, Dale. Okay. So let's just take a moment for Dale. We had been talking. She anticipated somebody very close to her was getting ready to pass. And last week we talked about pre-grief and how we can start to expand our energy and our awareness so that when our loved one dies, it's easier for us to stay connected. So Dale, I'd like to just take a moment of silence, and anybody that's here for us, if you will just visualize Dale's friend, and you don't have to know who it is or male or female or anything, just witness the angels coming and just healing and bringing her loved one into heaven, sending healing to Dale and to all the loved ones connected. So let's just do that real quick here. Okay, thank you. Thank you for everybody for participating in that. Okay, I felt a lot of your energy. It was like wonderful. Okay. All right. We got a whole bunch of you in here today. Thank you so much. Beyond the meat suit. Hey, nice to see you. Okay, so let's continue, you guys. Okay, so the second one will be like electrical flickers, electronics going haywire. That is so common. You turn the TV off and all of a sudden it goes back on by itself. You walk into a room, the light bulb explodes or starts to flicker. The really common one is when I would go on to paranormal investigations, we'd get out of the car would usually do something wacky with the lights, with the engine running or the AC, something would go weird. Then we'd get all our devices and instantly all the batteries would drain. Nothing would work. We'd have to put fresh batteries in again. So all of these things with electronic devices, that would be really, really common. Now, yes, that can happen in a haunted environment for sure. Like I'm describing a huge scale event, but with your loved one, it will be more close to home, or it will be like one specific thing that kind of follows you. So let's say you walk into a room, a light bulb explodes, and you just lost a loved one. You're like, was that them? And then you go to work, same thing happens. So it's almost like the same set of circumstances follows you. That indicates that it's a loved one trying to get your attention, not just a random ghost. So look for similarity in the events that happen around electronics, malfunctioning, flickering, and all of that. I've actually been on the phone working with clients before, and all of a sudden their fire alarm will go off and there's no smoke, there's no fire or anything. So that's pretty cool when we're talking about one of their loved ones. So yeah, pay attention to that. That's going to be really common for you, really easy for your loved ones to provide proof for you. Have any of you had that happen? Let me know in the chat room if you've been having electronics go wacky. Let me know. Okay, Dale says, it's funny you say that because he was a very good with electronics. Oh, and he said he was going to manipulate my neighbor's electronics when he crosses over. Dale, I already got the message like that he was going to be providing something for you, and I didn't want to say that on air. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, okay, Lydia, the electronics are next level with me. Also, I had to remove the batteries in my smoke detectors, and yes, bulbs exploding. Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh. Green Eyes of Green says always. Dark Crystal Tarot. Oh yeah, been there. Flickers everywhere for a short period of time when I got a new job. Oh yeah, our loved ones, they always know when we are celebrating something. Well, even when we're going through something difficult, they like to make their presence known. But when we celebrate a new job, a new baby, a new marriage, they are all about it. They get so excited and they want to show their support from the spirit world. So, expect extra orbs in your photos, extra wacky things. And it's not because they need anything from you. They're literally just trying to say, hey, I'm here and I'm excited for you. So that's a lot of energy coming through. And that's why the electronics go. Uh, yeah, so that's beautiful. I'm glad you guys are having that. Okay. Oh, Dale. Yeah, that is heartwarming. You're very welcome. Okay. The third one is dreams. Okay, you gotta be having some dream visits with your loved ones. I know you are. These are some of my most significant afterlife signs and symbols that I just treasure. I don't have them regularly, but I can still recall the ones that I had that were so meaningful and significant to me from about 20 years ago. They are that vivid in my memory as if they happened yesterday. So when you have a real dream visit, it will stay with you. You know how when you wake up from a dream and it starts to dissipate from the beginning and the end and pretty soon you just barely can remember the middle? An actual dream visit from your loved one will stay with you forever. And that's one of the significant ways that you can tell a difference. So you'll have opportunities to have conversation, to work out things. Like if you had challenges within your relationship, you'll actually work them out in the dream space. It's almost as if you're moving into an afterlife with them so that you can work it out. But they will come to you and you will go to them. So dream visits are absolutely amazing. These are real experiences. I often tell people to keep a dream journal right next to their bed after they've lost a loved one. Now, two things. Afterlife Signs and Symbol Journal, absolutely. You should have one of those going. But a dream journal is very important, and you want to always keep it right beside your bed with like a nightlight because, like I said, like a lot of times when you wake up, you start to forget. So when something meaningful has happened, you don't want to have to get up and come out of the brain, the momentum of that experience. And you also don't want to fall back to sleep right away and then forget you ever had it because they're profound. So I encourage people to just keep a pen and a journal next to their bed. And when they've had something significant, they can write it down because sometimes you won't be as lucky as I am to remember the whole experience. You might just remember the verbal message or the way it made you feel or the way their face looked. It's totally going to depend on your ability to see spiritually and how, if you have any skills or abilities in that department. For the average person, you may just remember bits and pieces. A lot of times people will tell me, oh, my mother came to me in a dream, but I just saw her walk out of the door. That's all I remember. And what they have forgotten is the 90% of the dream where the mother stepped in, touched them lovingly, said something very healing, and then turned and walked away. Okay, so the more you're writing it down, the more your consciousness will expand into the understanding that you're actually paying attention, and it will prepare you to have a deeper and richer experience with the spirit world. It will help you remember more of what you're actually experiencing. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up here. Okay. Flickers everywhere for a short period of time when I get my job. Yay. Yes. Can you imagine on their side trying so hard to get our attention like movie Ghost? Oh God, I'm so sympathetic to them. Yes, absolutely. So that's what Dark Crystal Tarot said. Our loved ones, like I see them actually. So you're absolutely right. So our loved ones, they're oftentimes like right next to the bed, like jumping up and down. There'll be like a collection of them, like, why isn't she paying attention? Why can't she see us? And then they're like, okay, let's put all our energy together and try to move this, or let's like make this light blow out. Hopefully that'll get our attention. And then the human's like a little sim person, lights are going out and all these weird things are moving and they're like, oh, weird. And they're not paying attention or they got headphones on. That's me. I always have headphones on. But yeah, it's so funny. Your loved ones, they are always around you. So it does take a little bit of practice to tune in with them, to notice the things. And that's why writing it down is helpful. If you start writing down just in one day or 1 week, you could say, like, Grandma, give me signs and symbols from the afterlife. Here's what I'd like you to do so that I know it's you. So specify what you want them to do for you. Otherwise, you can write down all the random weird things that happen in the course of a week and then try to figure out who it was. But they can hear you. They can hear your intentions. They can hear what the desire is. And so the more clarity you have with that actually aids them, because then they can dial in on that specific thing to let you know that they're there. So try that out. See how that works for you. Okay. My Nest camera recently caught an orb. Awesome. Yeah, let me know if you know who that is. All right, Beyond the Meat Suit. My grandmother removed her birth date page from the movie Day Calendar. Gosh, I need my glasses. Hold on a second. Okay. My grandmother removed her birth date page from the movie Day Calendar because it was the only way she could reach my mom. She reached the rest of us just fine. LOL. That's awesome. Yes, they're going to try whichever way they need to get your attention. And that I want to mention too, that's not uncommon even with pets. When my pet Dexter was getting ready to pass, his spirit came to me and told me that he was ready, but my daughter wasn't ready to let him go yet. So she insisted on getting her own message from him before, allowing him to go to the vet to be put down. And he was older and he was in poor health and we had been nursing him for quite some time. But we needed to be in unison. So we had to wait for her to get the sign. So we don't all get signs at exactly the same day, time, or way. We can get more unique signs specific to us. So you can always honor that, if there's a discrepancy, everyone will experience it in their own way that is unique for them. Okay, Dale, my friend and I were sitting outside before he passed, and we're asking spirit for signs. A dragonfly landed on the porch post right in front of us. It was wonderful, but my doubting mind questioned it. People do that all the time, Dale. Yeah, you have no idea how many people send me phenomenal orbs with their loved one's face clearly in the middle, and they still doubt it. I have had so many people that are like, is this really a sign? I'm like, you just told me 10 that were extraordinary. And they still go, is it real? It's hilarious. And so I want to encourage you guys to know that it's real. It's very natural for our loved ones to want to stay connected to us and to let us know that they're around. They should actually teach us this when we're little so that we can grow up with a more natural expectation of it. So absolutely, it is very normal and natural, and we should all be more open to receiving it because it's good for the heart and the soul. It's very healing for you to know you're not abandoned. You're not alone. You are still connected. You just need to up your game and learn how to vibrationally connect with them and perceive them so that you can stay in contact. And ultimately, that's why I really dove into developing my mediumship, because my best friend died and my little sister died close together. And I was like, I am not going to lose my connection with them. So I hunted down the best mediums I could find all over. I mean, I was in, the UK, I was in Bosnia, I was in Minnesota and Florida and all over the place, and learning from the best mediums that I could find, because that was very important to me, to stay connected to my loved ones. So I chose to develop my gifts. That's why I did it. I never intended to be sitting here as a medium with 30 years experience and sharing all this stuff with you guys. I did it from my own need to stay connected to my loved ones. So we all have that need to different degrees, right? We can all develop our skills. That's actually why I created Master Your Mediumship. It's not just for professional mediums, although most people that take that course from me do decide to work with the public because they enjoy it so much. But most people lean to that course to learn how to get their connection, to learn what it feels like to connect with spirit, to learn where spirit position is around the human body so that you can more easily detect it. The course is wonderful. So be sure you check that out. All my links are going to be below this video. Okay. All right. Oh, the orb. Eyes of Green says the orb was my son. Yes. Awesome. Oh, okay. And it looks like, oh, Karina just lost my mom not even 2 months ago. I'm sorry, Karina. Has she given you any afterlife signs yet? I'd love to know that. And I'd love to know if you're setting up something with her so that she knows what to do to let you know that she's visiting you. That will be very healing when you make that contact. Connecting with the afterlife isn't just, for people that are interested in the paranormal. Although most of the people I've ever met in the paranormal came to that because they lost a loved one and they just had a deep desire to understand the afterlife, what comes next, how do you interact with spirit. So they're very closely related. Okay, Karina says, light flickers definitely once or twice. Yes, but it's been silent ever since. Okay, that's okay. So initially, right after a loved one dies, you'll have more activity, and then it may go quiet for a little while. And they're just giving you some time and space to begin healing your heart and making some of the decisions you need to make after that loss, like funeral and all the different things. What are we going to do with all the estate and all the belongings, And they know that your emotions are going through a roller coaster, and so they kind of back up. But if you ask her, you can ask her to come to you in a dream, or if you have a specific question, ask her to come to you or provide the answer for you. She definitely will be making every effort to do that. I know she will. So do engage with her as well, okay? It's not that she can't come through. She's just observing some silence to allow you to do what you need to do. Okay. So let's move on. The other one you guys should be watching for are animals acting unusual. And I want to see a show of hands in the chat room. I know you guys are experiencing this. I love this one. I've shared this in many videos in the past. Usually before a loved one dies, I'll get the sign. Like I think I talked about it last time, where the hummingbird came to me before my grandma passed. And I knew that it was coming to me to show me, this is what I'm going to be. Like, this is what I'll show you when I come by to visit you after I die. So I got the sign as she was in hospice and as I was talking about her and preparing travel to go and be with her. So there will be significant moments and very unusual behavior. I also get very common calls from the crow, the raven, the hawk. They visit all the time. Those are kind of like more totem animals, but they can pre-warn me of something coming or let me know that they're around to support me after a loss. Other unusual animal signs might be, I used to have dragonflies. My little sister had a dragonfly that represented her, and it was really unique. At her funeral, we had left the main event and we went to her veterinarian clinic that was being built for her. And we held hands in a circle and said a prayer for her. We just thanked her for being part of our life. We're like, thank you for being our little sister, and thank you for sharing your life with us. You're so amazing, and we love you so much. We're going to miss you terribly. And we're talking about all of that. And this big dragonfly came right in the middle of the circle, and it literally flew up to each one of us and looked us in the eyes, and then went to the next person, the next person, the next person. And after it had gone around the full circle, it left. And all of us were just like, our mouths were open, our eyes were wide, and we're like, did that just happen? And we all knew, unanimously, we all knew Mary is going to send us dragonflies. And we knew it because of what the dragonfly did. But what made that one even more special is I kind of had a little secret. I knew that my little sister had just gotten a dragonfly tattoo that nobody else knew she had. So I could further validate that this was an accurate sign. So look for things like that around your own life. You will definitely get them. And it could be like a deer, it could be a dog, it could be something that you hear but you don't even see. You don't have to have a live animal. Also, it could be something from TV. If there's something that just really stands out to you, or it's repetitive, then understand that's probably a sign from your loved one. Okay. All right. So I'm just kind of breezing through, got lots of comments. You guys, thank you for being supportive with one another also. That's really special. I'm glad that you guys can count on each other for that kind of support and love. Okay. And Lydia, yes, I had a peacock show up in my backyard when my sister-in-law's mom died. It was beautiful. I've never seen another one since. It's been 10 years. Unforgettable. Yes. The peacock was staring at me and my husband the entire time. I love that. That's what I'm talking about. And so animals and nature in general are so attuned to the spirit world. Like I said, the natural cycles, it's very natural for us to connect and stay connected with spirit. It doesn't have to be a big production. It could be that natural, right? And just understanding that there's a message coming from the natural world through the animals when they show up in a very unusual way. Okay. And the last one is unexpected warmth or coolness. Now, usually with ghosts, it's going to be cool. You'll walk into a room and the ghost is using the energy in the room. So they literally have to pull energy from the physical reality, which creates cold spots. Your loved ones will more often and more easily produce a sensation of warmth. It could actually be warmth that you move your body through, that you feel a warm spot, or like a warm touch. You might just feel your arm warm up and you may not even feel a touch. You may just feel warm. That would be like an embrace from the spirit world. Angels will hug you this way. Your loved ones in spirit will hug you this way. So kind of more warmth will be associated with your loved ones, making their presence known for you and being very close to you. They have to be very close for you to get warm. Okay. And the one that I want to share that I didn't put in the title is an apport. And while some of you may or may not know what that is, it's kind of a spiritualist term. An apport is something that is delivered from the spirit world. It literally is something that moves into this space, into the physical reality from spirit. This would include pennies from heaven, feathers that just come down but didn't fall off a bird. It could be the hearts that we see on the ground, which all of those things I get frequently, especially the pennies. Now, I've been literally sitting in my car at a drive-through window before and just out of nowhere had a penny drop from my ceiling onto my lap when I'm waiting for the cashier to come to the window or waiting to make my order, whatever. Just sitting there, I'm not touching anything. I'm not doing anything. I don't have any cash out. I'm just sitting there with the steering wheel, and all of a sudden, doop, that's a penny from heaven. I have a viewer on here. He's a wonderful person, and he's become a friend of mine and a client. He finds pennies like no one's business. He's got jars of pennies. He's just filling them up because his loved one knows that he's paying attention. So every time he sees a penny, he knows that his loved one is saying, I love you, I'm here with you. And he keeps it. And so his loved one is super excited about that. And he's like, let's bring him more pennies. So yeah, apports are something that definite afterlife signs, but they are physical items that appear. They weren't just misplaced, they appeared. So do pay attention to those, you guys. Oh, and I mentioned earlier my Master Your Mediumship course. I am offering 15% off that course until July 31st with the coupon code Summer Spirit, all caps. The link will be below this video, and I'll put the coupon code on there as well. So yeah, check it out. Like I said, that was the course that I created from the most helpful techniques that I took to develop my mediumship. After going everywhere and learning everything that I did, I was very easily able to narrow it down to what really worked, and also fully develop as a medium, setting up your sacred space, learning like every aspect, you know, your angels that help you with mediumship, ethics and codes for mediumship, everything, and, you know, the most effective techniques. So do check that out if you guys are interested. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Lydia says, oh, wow, Diana, that penny from heaven. Wonderful. I know. And, you know, I have shared some stories also in my book, Death in the Afterlife, where the partner that I had at the time, we were getting ready to go to his brother's funeral, and he put his hand in his pocket and he pulled out a coin. And he was so like bewildered because his pants were hanging up in the closet. The coins should have dropped out if there were coins, but he never left coins in his pockets. So I walked by and saw him holding this coin and just staring at it. And I was like, what is that? And he told me, I just pulled this out of my pocket. And so we looked at it very carefully and we're like, well, what's the date on it? You know, and what state is it from? And I think it was a quarter. And we flipped it over and it said something like, I can't remember specifically. My book, I say what it is, but like the old men on the mountain or something like that. And then we went to the funeral right after. We're like, we better keep this. I bet you this is from your brother. We went to the funeral and it was during COVID, so everyone was masked. There was hardly anybody there. They really reduced the service and they only did 1 or 2 songs. Guess what they played? It was like the old man on the mountain or something like that. It was like imperfect synchronicity with the actual coin that showed up in his pocket that was an apport, a gift from spirit. So these things happen, you guys. Please do not doubt them. The more you actually embrace them, the more your loved ones will give to you, and that will make you feel more connected. So you don't have to make it up. This is a real phenomena. It happens. But I do encourage you to notice it, to write them down, and also show gratitude for them every time. Okay. Dale says, my mother used to collect pennies. Awesome. Bernadine. Hello, Diana. Hi, Bernadine. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Aw. Whoops. Oh, my goodness. This is so funny. I bet you this is a sign for somebody. I'm going to. Hey, sis, can I call you back? Okay. I love you. Bye. Okay, that's a sign for somebody. My sister just, I did actually, so talk about weird electronic things. I just have to mention this. Right before I went live, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So literally that phone call should not have happened. But now I got proof. Someone's saying hi to me. So, oh gosh, I bet you it's my sister because I was just talking about her. Okay. Okay, you guys. Well, I think that's it. Let me just double check. Yeah, also, for those of you that have lost a loved one, you guys, please check out my Grief Ease app. I made it for you guys. I've taken my experience from over 30 years of working with helping people heal grief and reconnect with their loved ones. I feel that they go hand in hand. connecting with your loved one in spirit helps you to heal your grief, but there are specific things that you should also do to heal your grief that regular mainstream doesn't teach or doesn't address. I know these things because I'm a medium, and so I have a different approach. So go ahead and download the Grief Ease app for free. That link will also be below this video. There are some free tools you can use. So even if you don't decide to do the full program with the 9 lessons, you can still get the free afterlife meditation, the grief assessment, the first lesson on there. It's a short lesson that you can do for free. There's information and helpful stuff on there that can get you started on your path for healing your grief and reconnecting with your loved one. And then if you decide that you like it and you really want to lean into it and do more, all I can say is that my clients that have been using the Grief Ease app have been loving it. They tell me that they've held space for their loved one and they grieved for far too long, too many years, because they didn't know how to process it or release the shock and trauma or get their afterlife connection, and they hadn't released soul contracts or completed them. So there's so many things spiritually that you do want to look at to heal your grief that will really just help restore you and help you live the happiest rest of your life. So yeah, check that out, you guys. I'm just going to take one more look here in the room. Dale says we're in Mercury retrograde currently, so everything goes wacky with electronics. Well, you're right about that, but usually it's delays, not random phone calls when the phone ringer is turned off. Yeah. Okay, green eyes of green. Thank you, Diana. You're welcome. Christina, hello. I just saw your name in here. Hi. Okay. Just want to breeze through and see if I missed anything. All right, you guys, thank you so much. If I missed something, if you asked me a question and I didn't see it in the chat room, please just send me an email. I should have all my information on my YouTube channel where you can get to my website, my email. Yeah, feel free to reach out or, check out my links below the video. I always have all my links for any of the services, private sessions, classes, books, all of that stuff. Okay, and you know what? Let me know what you want to hear next. I was thinking about, what was I thinking of doing next time? I was thinking about talking a little bit about seeing spirits, mediumship scrying, learning how to see spirits, getting used to that type of frequency, things like that. So let me know if you're interested in that or if it's something else. Give me a message, leave it here with this video or email me. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. And mostly remember that your loved ones are with you. They really, really, really are. After working with them for decades and recording them and photographing them and getting apports from them, I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, your loved ones are with you. They're aware of you and they want to help you. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you guys next time. And thank you so much for joining. Bye-bye.